Hello, everyone.
Hey!
We're back.
We're
Whether you want us to be or not, here we are. Uh, Welcome. This is Wine, Wine, and Once, a Once Upon a Time podcast. I'm Dee.
And I'm Lo. And welcome to a bad time.
Oh, and it always is a bad time.
It always is. Every week we are going through an episode of Once Upon a Time in order. We've been watching the show for...
Ever. Too long.
Too many years. 10 years? Just 10 years. Yep, 10 years now.
It feels longer. Feels like 20.
10 years, but we are revisiting. As a warning, this is not a spoiler-free podcast. We are spoiling everything, and we're talking with hindsight. We know the full story. We've watched every single episode.
We know the full story. Do we understand the full story? No. But do we conceptually know the plot? Yes.
Correct.
We will discuss everything. Is there rhyme, reason, or logic? No. No, there's none of that.
And that's on both. That's on us, but that's also on the writer.
It's both. It's a little bit of both. But yeah, like Lo said, we're going episode through episode, watching it so you don't have to. And we do have a little laundry list of things we're keeping track of. Me personally, I'm going to be looking at the magic bean count, which becomes a much bigger issue later on. The town-wide curses, and of course, our dear Emma Swan's superpower lie detector bullshit crap.
Yeah, that's always an interesting time to find out where her batting average lies. But me personally, I am just here for a definitive family tree. It's gonna get messy. It's already starting to get messy.
Episode 8, it's already not great.
It's already getting messy. And then, of course, I'm also going to be keeping track of all of the relationships on the show. That's the polite way of putting it. Colloquially, we are calling it the fuck fern.
Yes.
Who's doing who has kisses, who is just
how incestuous
really
is this? Like,
intimately flirting. It's a little weird. It's going to get really weird.
Yeah.
Can't wait. It's going to be great.
It'll be great, it'll be terrible, it will be all of the above.
It sure will. Well, why and what are you drinking this week?
Oh boy. And for once I'm drinking wine. This is super exciting.
Me too!
Wow. This is the first time on this whole damn podcast that we both had wine.
Well, cheers!
Cheers. Why am I enjoying wine this week? It's actually a good week. I had my birthday last week, so...
Yes, happy birthday!
Thank you. I'm elderly now, so I guess I'm drinking to drink away my age. I don't know.
You're drinking because you're a crone.
That's true. This is accurate.
I say this lovingly.
No, it's true, though. No, but I mean, it's a good week. It's always crazy coming back from vacation.
Yes.
It's a little chaotic, but hanging in there. How about you? How's the week? How you doing?
We're making it through. It's been really, really busy lately. This is a crazy month always, so we're making it through. But the wine is definitely appreciated today.
Yes, and even better, we get to see each other in a few days. So
I know. I'm so excited.
Going to be chaotic.
I'm getting ready for a long drive after work Friday, and then Saturday. Gonna be great.
It will be. Well, now that the formalities are out of the way, I guess we can dive into episode 8, Desperate Souls.
Oh
yeah. Before I go into the nitty-gritty full synopsis, as always, let's consult our trusty Disney Plus to see what the hell is going on there. So here we go.
Interesting.
Emma runs for public office, leading Regina and Mr. Gold to indulge in dirty politics. Rumpelstiltskin searches for a power source to help his son avoid war.
Okay, a couple notes.
Sure.
One, I like the insinuation that Emma is running by choice. I mean, I know she's choosing to do it, but like she doesn't seek out a position to run.
She wants to keep her current position. Is all it is.
Right. Also just say it's the sheriff's position.
Mm-hmm.
But
Public
And
office.
two, I really enjoy the use of the word indulge there. Like, this is something that they've always wanted to do, and now they're finally getting the
A
chance.
dream come true for them both.
Dirty politics, yay!
I personally love, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but how the second sentence says, he searches for a power source to help his son avoid war. You can't avoid the war. The war is there. You want him to avoid being drafted in the war.
Right.
It's a
Yeah,
very specific situation here.
it is. It certainly is. Sometimes I'm like, oh, we are so granular, but also, what else are we here for?
What else are we here for?
What else is there?
What else is there indeed? All right. You take
All
a
right, I've
drink of
got my
wine?
notes. Yes. Again, cheers to
Cheers.
desperate souls.
Oh boy, I'm a desperate soul. All right. So we start this harrowing episode in the Enchanted Forest. A non-scaly Rumpelstiltskin is spinning his straw not into gold because he's very clearly not the Dark One yet. We're getting an origin story. So he's doing his straw not to gold thing, and a knight shows up and conscripts a young girl from the village to serve in the army for the Ogre's War, which we hear a lot about in the show. I think it's the only war that exists, the Ogre War.
Of course.
And she tries to flee and avoid being drafted, but a hooded man shows up and kind of like whooshes everyone to the ground magically. Very ominous, very mysterious. He's being controlled by a dagger. We've seen this before.
Very wispy magic.
Very wispy magic. I have a lot of thoughts about this for later on. And, Rumpel is obviously disturbed by this and very scared for his son, Balefire, because the drafting age is 14 and his son will soon be 14 and therefore eligible to join the war.
I had one little note that I wanted to mention.
I'm scared already.
We are equal opportunity child soldiers here.
We sure are.
Like, we're not just coming for the boys. In Storybrooke, no. Or sorry, in the Enchanted Forest, no.
Anyone can die.
We draft all of the prepubescent teens into our war.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So at least they have that going for them.
Again, equal opportunity child soldiers.
We love that, I guess. Or hate it. It's both.
This is good.
So, Rumpel's very upset. He makes an equally upsetting comment to Balefire about how the red in the sky isn't fire, it's blood. The war is sacrifice.
You know how you talk to your child.
He should stop talking to his child.
Oh, he will.
Hey! So, from there, we pop on over to Storybrooke, and it has been 2 whole weeks since Graham has died.
Sure.
Nothing has happened. Assumedly.
Well, nothing worthy of the show, I guess.
Nope. So, Gold and Emma are talking about how Graham has passed away, and Mr. Gold offers to support her if she decides to run for sheriff, since now that position's available.
Right.
And he just has all of Graham's stuff and tells her to take something to remember him. Like, he's very insistent. He's like, take something. Play with the walkie-talkies with your boy. Take the jacket. I have it all. He was renting an apartment from me.
Okay.
Bonkers.
Sure.
And so she's like, no, I don't want the jacket, but those walkie-talkies, though, sign me the fuck up. And they're massive. These are like ancient walkie-talkies.
Those are like law enforcement walkie-talkies.
Yes. And he's very insistent. He's like, oh, these moments are precious. You don't know, like, you'll grow up so quickly. You want to enjoy these moments, so sure, walkie-talkies. Why not? And she promptly takes these walkie-talkies to the castle, the playground that she and Henry meet up at, and she tells them they're to keep in contact during Operation Cobra, and Henry's just like, we should call off this Operation Cobra stuff and not mess with the curse, and he's very forlorn about it all.
Right.
He believes that Regina killed Graham because he was good, and he's worried about Emma's safety, and he makes a statement about how good always loses.
There's one thing about this conversation that particularly bothers me. And it's
Sure.
that was there when
Mhm.
Graham died.
Yeah.
Very, very clearly there.
Mhm.
We as an audience absolutely know Henry is right. Regina murdered Graham,
Sure.
but nothing about the circumstances in which Graham died says, hey,
Murder.
this is murder. Like, so I don't particularly care for the fact that Emma just doesn't shut that down.
I mean, she makes a really lame comment, I think, about, oh, they did an autopsy, but doesn't say what the autopsy showed.
Right. And again,
She should say, no, I was there. He collapsed after I kissed him. My kiss killed him.
perfect. That's it. Tell your 10-year-old that. Just that.
I think it's a good plan.
I think so.
Back in the sheriff's office, Emma's pondering the sheriff's badge that Graham has left in his death, I suppose, when Regina shows up to say, nah, not today. You're not the sheriff. According to the town charter, the mayor can appoint the replacement, and she's replacing this sheriff position with Sydney Glass. The natural choice.
Of course. Obvious.
And then to really dig it some salt into the wound, she then fires Emma and takes the badge with her. So she literally walks in and says, the reporter's in charge now, you're fired. It's wild.
It's a power move.
It sure is. So naturally, Emma goes home and does something bad to Mary Margaret's toaster. We don't know what.
I think she hit something. She said she needed to hit something. Please don't hit other people's toasters.
No, she constantly abuses this poor woman's home that she's being offered to stay in. First, she takes her flowers and it's like, die. Now she's like, your toaster was a piece of shit, so I punched it. Like,
I was mad, so I punched your toaster, and now I'm a little drunk and trying to fix it.
correct, because not only has she broken the toaster, but she's got a bottle of whiskey and she's drunk tinkering around with the toaster.
Right.
It's a terrible mix. It's terrible.
Don't drink and tinker, kids.
So Emma goes on to tell Mary Margaret that Regina fired her. And right when she's explaining all this, Mr. Gold shows up at the door and he says that two people with a common goal can do a lot, but two people with a common enemy can do even more. And he hints that Emma should check the town charter, kind of do some digging into what it is that Regina said. I would like to note that for once, well, this time at least, Mary Margaret just walks away instead of saying, I'm going to go take a shower. So she's improving.
Yeah,
Proud of
she's
her.
learning. Good for her.
Mm-hmm. So now we're back in the Enchanted Forest, and it's middle of the night. Rumpelstiltskin's waking up Balefire, tells him, hey, we're leaving. You don't know what war is like. It's time to go. We can't stay here. So they hit the road, but are quickly stopped by a beggar on the road. Gives him some money, very kind of him. Shortly after, they are found by a bunch of knights, which does not surprise me because they literally take the king's road. You're gonna be caught.
Just get a couple feet off the road.
Yeah. Don't stay on the road if you're on the run. But Rumpel looks all meek and mild and is like, oh no, we just have some stuff to sell, don't mind us. Nothing suspicious here. But the lead knight in charge is buying none of this shit and asks how old Balefire is. And Balefire reveals that in 2 days he'll be 14. Could have been solved easily if he just said, oh no, I'm 12. But I don't know.
Add it to the number of problems in a Disney thing that could be solved by lying about a birthday.
Looking at you, Gothel. Fucking looking at you. My God. So the knights, who apparently everyone knows Rumpelstiltskin, he's a common character that everyone is aware of here.
He's a famed coward.
He sure is.
Locally famous coward, Rumpelstiltskin.
And they revealed that to Balefire. They're like, hey kid, your father's a coward and he ran away during the Ogre War. Normal things to tell a child. And they remind Rumpelstiltskin that it's treason to avoid service and that they will take Balefire. It's going to happen. They can't run from this. But Rumpelstiltskin is persistent and asks, hey, is there anything I can do? I want to save my son. The knight makes honestly a very simple request. It's like, yeah, sure. Fucking kiss my boot. Right here, right now. Kiss it. Nothing too dramatic. But there's a
Oh
lot of back
no.
and forth, and Rumple's like, no, my boy, my pride, I can't. We have thoughts on this.
Famed proud man, Rumpelstiltskin.
Uh-huh.
I did like in this scene in particular that I know we were joking about it earlier because like he says something about names or whatever, and the knight calls Rumpelstiltskin Spindleshanks, which we were laughing about because it absolutely sounds like a name from Cat.
Yeah.
But it is from one of the original tales. That's one of the names that is guessed
Oh,
as
okay.
Rumpelstiltskin's real name.
I'll be honest. I used to have a picture book growing up of Rumpelstiltskin. I used to love it.
Mhm.
I kind of full on forgot that one of the things was guess my name, and I'm flabbergasted that that's not a thing in the show. Imagine if the name reveal didn't come till the end. How fucking dope would that be if they were like, what's his name? Dark One? I don't know. At the end, it was Rumpelstiltskin. It's like, oh shit.
Or like even just I'm surprised that it's not a thing in Storybrooke because that would dovetail so nicely into
Right?
these are the wrong names. People are being called by the wrong names. They do not know their identity.
Mm-hmm.
But Rumpelstiltskin the whole time we find out
Yep.
knows his identity. So there could have been something in like Emma's deal or something where it's, hey,
If you
if
know
you
my
can
name,
figure out my real name, you're
God,
out.
why won't we writers on this show?
Because we were
In
babies.
college, crying a lot.
Fair.
So names aside, Rumple finally concedes and is like, fine, I'll fucking kiss your boot, I guess. Leans down and is promptly kicked. No one saw that coming.
Don't engage in kink without trust.
It's
That's
true. We don't kink
the
shame.
advice. No, but don't engage
Don't
unless you
engage.
have trust.
Correct. So after kicking Rumpelstiltskin down, the knights leave, and lo and behold, the old beggar from before comes to offer some aid. Rumpelstiltskin lets the man know, hey, dude, I gave you all my money. I'm a broke man. But the beggar tells him not to worry, that he will be his benefactor. And it's clever because in the show, Mr. Gold very much implies the same thing to Emma just a scene before of, hey, I'll be your benefactor. We love a parallel, I guess.
You know, and
Why not?
this season, especially is good about
Mm-hmm.
like these flashbacks are very informative
Yes.
to the Storybrooke stuff.
Which is
Sometimes
nice.
not successfully, but they're
No.
very much paralleled. And I think in this one, like, there's a lot of quirks from Rumple and Gold that we'll get into later, but that kind of parallel nicely in this episode.
Absolutely. Back in Storybrooke, Regina's having a press conference to announce Sydney as sheriff.
This one does. Do I not know a lot about like municipal elections because
I know
which is
I don't.
fair. I don't, but I'm like, okay, do we have like full press conferences
Yeah.
for this?
No, this
With
is
a photo op.
and a whole crowd of people that we never see again. And that's
Of
my
course.
biggest pet peeve. I'm realizing they're NPCs. They have to be. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
This is just one very strange D&D campaign.
Very strange. So Regina's holding this alleged press conference, and Emma interrupts. She points out that the charter says that the mayor may appoint a candidate, but not a replacement, and that Emma, intends to run for sheriff.
Reggie's really, really got to shore up that town charter.
Right?
Take a little
Man,
peruse
you
of
wrote
it.
this.
Right?
You also could have changed it before she got fucking nosy. My God,
Like,
Reggie.
again, if there was an insinuation that like Rumple magically changed the charter, then I
That
would
would have
not
been
have a
cool.
problem with this. And I don't know if they were implying that, but if they were implying it, they didn't do it successfully.
No.
Or
'Cause
they
she
didn't do
seem
it.
confident. She seemed pretty damn confident.
Right.
But I digress. Regina turns around and informs Sydney, like, hey, you're running too. And he's like, I am? Fuck, okay. Guess so.
I am.
Which is great too, because 30 seconds before he was willing to step into the positions. I don't know why he's so fucking confused.
Right?
But he is.
Listen, he's here for a good time, not a long time.
Oh, Sydney.
Sydney.
Lots to say about that man. Back in the Enchanted Forest, the old man is trying to get Rumpelstiltskin to find another way to save Balefire, but Rumpel says he has no choice, that he's the town coward. The old man says if he wants power, he can take it from the Duke. Because as we saw in the beginning, with the hooded figure and the dagger and the magic, if you have the dagger, you control the Dark One, and therefore have a bunch of power. He explains to Rumpel that, hey, you can go into this castle, steal the dagger, and you be able to control the Dark One, and therefore protect your son. So we have a plan laid out. Steal the dagger.
Good plan.
Oh, yeah. In Storybrooke, Regina confronts Mr. Gold in his pawn shop, accusing him of telling Emma about the charter. Gold just says, it's a shame the Graham died. Which is wild. And Regina is so...
They're conversations.
They're my favorite. My favorite thing, though, is that he's like, it's a shame Graham died. And Regina is so fucking offended.
She's so flabbergasted.
She didn't grab his heart and crumble it with her own hand.
She didn't whole-ass murder the man.
It's ridiculous.
I love the commitment to the bit, though.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got to admire the commitment.
Oh, yeah. You never know who's listening in. You have to commit.
Right.
So after getting very offended, she asks if Mr. Gold is going up against her, and he says no. But Regina says that he's backing a losing horse, and he points out, well, Emma hasn't lost yet. So, I don't know. She's a horse.
That's the takeaway.
Yep. Emma finds Henry in Granny's diner, and she finds him reading the front page of the newspaper. And it's a smear campaign published by Sydney all about her. And it tells the truth about Henry being born in a jail cell. And Henry says that his mom is evil, but Emma is not.
Pause.
Which is wild.
That number one is it's insane. I wanted to pause for something that didn't put into the summary, but did make it into my notes.
Let's hear it.
Which is something that Emma says. And that's to look Henry dead in the eye and be like, tell me you're not scarred for life.
That's so, next level manipulation of, don't be upset. You're not allowed to be upset by this.
Right. The parentification that Henry is going to have to do between these two women and the way they treat him.
Jesus Christ.
This poor boy. That
I'm not often a Henry apologist, but I feel bad for him
in
this moment.
In this moment, because I'm just that's an insane thing to tell a child who has just found out something very upsetting about his past.
His origin story, if you will.
If you will. I just think that is making, as a parent, that is making your child responsible for your reaction.
Correct.
Because it's saying, she's looking upset and going, tell me you're not scarred for life. So
your answer is, no, I'm fine.
I'm fine. Even though you're very upset. And you're already very sad.
Everyone's fine.
But whatever, Emma.
Emma
he's not scarred for life.
Nope. So, pretending he's not scarred for life, he's like, no, Regina's evil, but you're not. And Emma thinks that revealing Mr. Gold is helping her is going to make him feel better. It does not.
No, again, he's been very clear. Regina is evil, and Mr. Gold is bad.
I don't know who he is yet.
Those are his 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 2 points. Those were 2. I don't know why she thinks, well.
He wants to know that I'm pairing up with him.
Right. He'll feel better if it's fine because Mr. Gold is on our side. I know you said he was bad, but now he's on our side.
And he is not okay with this. He is like, Emma, what the fuck? You already owe him a favor, and now you have this shit? He doesn't say those words, but I think his soul does. His expression says it.
His face says it all.
It does. And, this in turn upsets Emma. And she goes to yell at Regina in her office for digging up juvie records that were supposed to be sealed. And, she goes on to say it's bad for Henry to see his adopted mom and birth mom fighting. And Regina says, you can argue that at the debate because, oh yeah, BT dubs, there's a debate. Congratulations.
I just must not know things about, municipal elections.
Someone tell us. If you know things, tell us things.
Please tell me more.
I'm
trying to be a much more responsible citizen. I'm very good about voting and things.
Yeah.
But if there is a debate about becoming sheriff...
I'm out.
I had no idea.
No, I don't know how any of that works. She's informed, hey, by the way, you have to go to this debate. And they go to open a door, presumably to get out of the building, and bam, there's an explosion, fire everywhere. It's straight out of a Nancy Drew computer game. It's fabulous.
We've played that Nancy Drew computer game.
Fun fact. Story of the podcast. We always wanted to do Once Upon a Time podcast. Mid-pandemic, got super into playing Nancy Drew computer games and thought, what if we did a Nancy Drew podcast? Now we're back here. So we've come full circle, but there was a minute.
There was a minute. It's just, they're interesting games. I have thoughts on them.
Yeah. I yell a lot when I play them.
I was going to say they're soothing just because it's a child's game, but nothing about us playing those games is soothing.
Because we try to find every way you can die. That is our goal.
It's having to put your bike helmet on every single time you got on a bike was pretty annoying.
It sure was. It wasn't great. So at any rate, there's a fire, explosion, chaos everywhere, and Regina's ankle she's hurt, and she fell down, she can't get up, and she's like, Emma, you're gonna have to help me. Which is something Regina Mills would never say in her life. I do believe she was possessed in this moment.
Yeah. We were discussing earlier how just a couple of tweaks there would have just made it feel so much more in character.
If it's just your ankle, you can hobble your way up the stairs. You can crawl.
Right, and you'd be moving too slow.
And it should have been Emma goes down to help her and she goes, don't touch me. And Emma's like, I'm going to fucking touch you. I'm going to help you. I don't give a shit.
I'm going to help you because you're in danger and you're not going to make it out without my help.
It should be Regina saying, you're going to leave me here? Help me.
Yeah.
It ain't it.
No. And again, didn't take that much thought or that much consideration to turn that exact same thing into something that makes a little more sense for both characters and makes Emma look even better in comparison because it is somebody who's trying to get themselves out who might make it out okay. And, hey, if something tragic were to befall them, whoops. And then she does the heroic thing anyway and comes back and, saves Regina. Day. But no, okay, we're just going to yell at her that you need to help me.
Mm-hmm. So we continue on back to the Enchanted Forest. Rumpelstiltskin is working on a way that can help him into the castle so he can steal the dagger. He explains to his son that the dagger equals power, and power somehow equals redemption?
Sure.
Why not?
Okay.
And he also says, I don't only want to save you, but I want to save all of the children of the land.
Of course.
Papa Rumple.
Famed fatherly figure. Papa Rumple. I hate the repeated use of word Papa. Particularly...
Sorry, Faye uses it a lot, so I can't help it.
No, and particularly when we get into grown-ass saying Papa. I recognize people call their parents many things.
But Papa just seems like a lot for a grown-ass man.
Yeah, an English-speaking grown-ass man because, most people, I feel like as they get older, move to dad or father. I don't think people move to father necessarily.
I'm going to freak my dad out and just start calling him father.
I call my dad father. I do, every once in a while, but only when I'm annoyed.
Papa.
Papa. Papa.
Oh no.
See? It's a terrible word.
Not good.
It's too soft. It's Papa. There's too many puss in there.
Oh no. Whew, okay.
Okay.
So, he's like, I'm going to save all the children. And Bay asks if it's true that his mother left him. And Rumple says, nah, my boy, she died.
Lie.
Like a liar.
Lie.
Just doesn't even try to come up with something clever. Just, no. She died, which I may be remembering episodes incorrectly, but I'm 99% fucking sure that when Mila runs off with Hook, Bay straight up sees this happening and is like, Mom! Like, he brings him to the bar and is like, Mila, come home with us. Because at first she's like, nah, I'm with pirates and having fun. And then she sees Bay and she's like, Bay, what are you doing out of bed? Oh my god. And she's mad that Rumple would bring their son to a bar.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, she may be dead at this point, because he might have ripped out her heart. No, it's not yet.
No, because he's not the dark one yet.
Not the dark one, so she's technically
it's
still
a prophecy.
Alive. Oh, of course. Eyeball hands.
Yep.
A sane thing to say if you don't know what's going on.
Eyeball hands. So after this lie, Balefire asks what the plan is, and Rumple basically says, oh, the castle's made of wood. It's not. And wood burns. Arson.
We just went right, like, nail on the head.
Yep.
Just right on the nose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Arson.
Parallels, my friends. Back in Storybrooke, we're still in the burning building, and Regina tells Emma that she knows she's going to leave her there to die. But instead, Emma is the hero and helps Regina out of the building. Good for her. Someone takes a picture of them getting out of the building, and Regina is all grumpy and huffy about the attention that Emma's getting, and, goes, Emma, you're not setting me down properly, and, she's angry. She's very grumpy about how she's being handled. Which is a mood. I would also be angry. And so we see her, with her, I forget what the blankets are called when you come out of a fire and they're like, yeah.
A shock blanket.
Shock blanket. There's the word. So she's covered up in a shock blanket, and Sydney appears to take a picture of her because this is big news. And she's like, are you for fucking serious? Like, you're helping your competition, man. Like, come on. But
Sydney doesn't Sydney really wants it.
Sydney doesn't know what's happening. Sydney doesn't even know what a sheriff is. He woke up one day and was told, hey, you're going to be sheriff.
I'm going to need to look that word up in the dictionary.
Precisely. So Emma is talking to Henry about good people not needing to cheat when she looks over to the rubble from the fire and sees a rag and realizes, hey, someone set this establishment on fire. And it's important to note that earlier she walked into the shop and was like, Mr. Gold, your shop smells like some very flammable shit. So yes, she looks over and realizes that this was not an accident. Someone has intentionally set the building on fire. As she immediately goes to Mr. Gold's shop to accuse him of doing just that. And he's a little cagey and, kind of admitting to the whole thing, but not, the whole, well, if I did, I would have done it for this reason kind of thing.
I didn't, but if I did.
And I'm assuming it's because he's aware of her superpower bullshit. And it's like, she knows either way. Does it fucking matter?
And I think he's just like,
I don't give a fuck.
Great. What are you gonna do?
Yep. He says if he did it, it was because she couldn't win otherwise. And if she outs him to the town, she'll have to think about who she was walking away from and disappointing Henry. Basically, he's like, you can't tell anyone because they'll know that you were working with me, and it's gonna be bad shit for you. Henry's gonna be disappointed. Sucks to suck for you. We'd love to see it. We pop back to the Enchanted Forest real briefly, just to see Rumpelstiltskin set the stone castle on fire.
It's clearly stone.
It zooms in on the stone pieces. Like, it is a stone castle.
Yes. There is no reason that this castle should be going up in flames the way it is.
Immediately engulfed.
Like
Zero
the place
hesitation.
like the place is doused in
Oh, yeah.
gasoline.
Oh,
And
yeah.
not made of stone, it's made of tinder.
Mhm. So it's completely aflame. He walks inside and very easily finds the dagger, no obstacles. It was no trouble at all. No one stopped
No,
him.
probably could have just walked in. Didn't need to set the place on fire.
There was no one there. He could have just walked in. But hey, he got his
No.
dagger, I guess.
He was prepared.
He sure was. In Storybrooke, the debate is drawing closer. And Mary Margaret's putting up a bunch of signs supporting Emma, and lo and behold, who is showing up to staple posters for Sydney's side but good old David Nolan.
Newsy
We're
David.
not done with him yet.
Newsy David.
Yeah, he has a Newsies cap on, which upsets me on about 48 different levels.
I was waiting for him to seize the day, and he just didn't.
Did not. So they're both at this bulletin board, stapling their signs on up, and it's very accurate. Like, they're on opposite sides even here, so it's continuing this journey for the two of them that they're in the wrong spot. They're not on the same page.
Star-crossed lovers.
Uh-huh. And she tries to be kind and is like, oh, how's Catherine? And then she kind of just stops listening and goes, well, I'm out of posters. Bye.
Gotta go. I'm now awkward.
Yep.
I asked about your wife, but I don't really want to know about her.
Correct. So I guess that's a great moment for us to remember that he's still annoying and she still loves him.
Right, we had to pay Josh Dallas and Ginnifer Goodwin for being in the episode, so
They wanted to flirt some more in real life, so.
get out of here.
Get
I
will
will
not.
Here.
I will not. Mary Margaret runs to see Emma, and Emma claims that she can't win because she won't fight dirty, but she wants to show Henry that a hero can win. That's his whole thing. Although ever since the arson, Henry's much happier now. His depression lifted as soon as things were on fire.
The other part of it is we are shown Archie doing like a type 5 and like number one, why is he moderating this? What qualifications does he have to be moderating this?
His fake PhD.
Of course, the PhD he got from a curse. And also, why is he doing like stand-up before the scene? Before the thing?
I'm gonna choke on my wine. Jeez. Oh my god.
It was just really upsetting. I was like, what? What is happening? Why are you here? What are you doing? Again, we're paying the actor for being here. That's what we're doing there. He had lines.
It's nothing good. We now go back to the Enchanted Forest. Now that Rumpelstiltskin has the dagger, he tells Balefire, hey, go home. It's not safe here. You need to leave. Balefire tries to resist, but eventually complies. Once he's alone, Rumple takes the dagger and very dramatically raises it up and reads the name on it and tries to summon Zozo.
Of course.
Which is a terrible name.
Zazu.
All I can think of. So he's trying to summon the Dark One, and, nothing happens, so he's feeling a little dejected, and he turns around and bam! There's the Dark One, cloak and everything.
I will say they're very consistent with the Dark One aesthetic throughout the years, except for Emma. Emma breaks all of it, but, like, we keep that whole cloak and, like, boot aesthetic the whole time with everything else, even with the, like, thousands of Dark Ones that we suddenly have.
And I love that for them. They know what they like.
Right. I'm impressed with the continuity.
Oh, for once, there is some. Look at
something. That. Wow. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Mm-hmm.
So this Dark One, Zozo, has caught Rumple off guard, and Rumpelstiltskin takes a minute and kind of catches his breath and tells the Dark One, oh, right, I now control you. I have the dagger. Look at this. But the Dark One kind of just stares at him and goes, is Bay even your real size?
Is it a fair question? I don't know.
It does have me rethinking everything. Is Rumpelstiltskin not even Henry's grandfather?
We just don't know. I
Because he
mean,
says it with such, like, assertion of, how do you know Bay's even your child?
right. Well, and I mean, and it could totally be the mind game dark one, like your wife was a whore type situation. But like,
The Dark One does.
you know, I don't know. There's also, I'm like, Mila was not a faithful human.
No, she was not. Even
So,
before the Ogre War, she seemed, like, annoyed by Rumpelstiltskin's very existence.
well, he's, annoying.
He's very small and he has no money.
You can imagine the kind of stress he was under.
So, after taunting him and implying that his son isn't even his son, the Dark One says, alright, well, you control me now, so what is it that you want? And Rumpelstiltskin, being the dramatic bastard that he is, goes, I want you to die, and stabs him.
Then perish.
No, I don't even think he says, I want you to die. I think he
No,
just says, die.
He just says die.
And he stabs him
Sure.
with the dagger, and the Dark One falls to the ground and is quickly revealed to be the old beggar man from before. The one that said, go get the dagger and control the Dark One. Things are coming together.
Remember that?
It's all coming together. And the old man is laughing and says magic always comes with a price, and that Rumple must now pay that price.
And
Rumpelstiltskin.
he said he says something because I remember it echoing with
Oh,
Emma.
it's something about,
like, you made a deal that you didn't understand.
yes.
And like then his whole thing is now making deals. We talked about.
Yeah, because this show loves to make a character's trauma their personality.
Right.
With
So
Geppetto, his parents turned into puppets. Now he's a puppet maker.
Rumpelstiltskin, he made a deal he didn't understand.
And slowly the words on the dagger melt away to now reveal his name. Voila, he's the Dark One. He did the thing.
Oh no.
In Storybrooke, the debate is underway.
Oh good.
And Archie does his awkward comedy set, I suppose, introducing the candidates. Attaboy.
Okay. Why are you here?
We just don't know.
We need to pay him.
Yep. And Sydney has a very rehearsed speech about representing the good of Storybrooke. And it's so rehearsed that Regina knows every single word. She's in the audience mouthing it along like a good stage mom.
Amy Poehler, Mean Girls.
Oh my God.
That's all I could think of.
Yes.
Love you so much.
That's her. Absolutely.
Completely mouthing every word.
Mm-hmm. Like inflection, like expression. She has it down. She knew it.
She wants to be up there giving the speech.
She wishes it were her. There's probably something in the charter about how you can't be mayor and sheriff, otherwise she would.
She didn't know that when she put together the town charter.
When she wrote the charter, she didn't think that far. After Sydney does his speech, Emma gets up and gives a speech where she essentially outs Gold and says, like, yeah, this was some shady business. The fire wasn't an accident. I don't want to be associated with this. Deuces, bitch. And it's a thrilling speech.
Sis. She's out.
Basically, Mr. Gold slowly leaves the room. It's really awkward.
No.
It's the whole thing. So assuming she has lost this debate, she is at Granny's doing what else but drinking.
With Ruby, who is wearing the most 2011 outfit. It's like striped, it's got keyholes,
So
she's got
good.
feather earrings.
Oh,
This girl is peak fashion 2011 style.
I've said it before, I'm so bummed I missed the feathering trend. Like, I just never hopped on it.
We're almost back. It's
I'm
almost
ready.
back.
I'm so fucking
and
ready.
I will get my hair feathered.
Yes. Absolutely yes.
This time, I've got grown-up money. I'm going to feather my hair.
Hell yeah. So there's Emma drinking away her troubles, and Henry comes in, gives her the walkie-talkie, even though before he was like, no, we can't use them. He's elated now. Arson has cheered him up, and he's like, hey, walkie-talkies.
Arson has revived his spirit.
Correct. And he says that she's a hero for standing up to Gold, and he's just elated. Shortly after, Regina and Sydney show up and reveal that Emma has won the sheriff position because though it was close, people were impressed that she stood up to Mr. Gold. And Regina says that Gold doesn't make a very good friend, but he does make a superlative enemy. Her exact words.
I love this part.
Superlative enemy. Then she grins at Emma and says, "Enjoy that."
I love that. But also, I just want to point out, she didn't rig it.
No.
She didn't.
But she's so evil. Look at her being so evil and
so evil that she allows democracy to work unimpeded.
Listen. There's a lot
My
of
point exactly. Like, she might be an evil queen, but democracy did go on fairly unimpeded, though she might have indulged in some dirty politics.
I'm gonna drink my wine to that.
Fair.
In the Enchanted Forest, the time has finally come for the knights to take young Balefire away. He's 14. Time to go to war, buddy. However, newly transformed Rumpelstiltskin is like, nah, and stabs one of the knights because he's the Dark One now, and he can do whatever he wants.
Murder.
He can murder. The lead knight, the same one that was like, kiss my boot before, shows up, and he assumes this is the old Dark One. He assumes this is Zozo, and goes to kneel before him and realizes, oh shit, new guy. Who the fuck are you? And Rumpelstiltskin makes him realize who he is and taunts him right back in the same way he was teased before and says, kiss my boot. Taste of his own medicine.
Right.
But instead of kicking him, he just kills him. So.
Solid,
So he improved the maneuver. And this admittedly upsets Balefire.
Nobody likes to watch their dad murder people. My exact notes were, Papa, you're a murder bitch now.
Yes. He asks Rumpelstiltskin what happened, and Rumpelstiltskin does not answer what happened. He just says, you're safe now. And says, hey, kiddo, I killed everyone. Do you feel safe? And Balefire stares at him and says, no, I feel frightened.
Fair point, one would think.
And this does not bother Rumpelstiltskin to hear his own child say, I'm scared of you. He's just like, meh, I'm the Dark One now and I'm no longer afraid of anything. Good for you, Pops. I'm still fucking shitting bricks over here, but fantastic. Oh, so last but not least, we are back in Storybrooke. And Mr. Gold shows up at the sheriff's office. He does not show up, he appears. He is looming, waiting for Emma to arrive. Because why not?
Of course.
And he claims it was all an act and that he knew that Emma needed something even bigger than a fire to help her win. Something like standing up to him. Then he reminds her that she still owes him a favor, but now that she's sheriff, he is sure they can find some way of repaying that favor. And we fade to black.
Ominous.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Ominous.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was certainly a lot.
It was a lot, and yet somehow nothing.
Right? Like, it feels like a lot happened, but then when you, go back and go, okay, what affected the plot?
Nuts and bolts. Rumpelstiltskin origin story. Emma sheriff, I guess?
Emma is officially sheriff now.
Which really doesn't affect the plot from a story perspective. It just gives her a reason to stay in town, I guess. It's roots, which has been her thing.
Right, and it's, but that was already happening. She was already sheriff. There was no reason
she was fired, though.
Yeah, but she was fired in this episode.
Exactly.
If she'd been fired in last episode, I would understand. Okay, I get it, because she'd been fired last episode for the cliffhanger, and now she's fixing it, but nothing changed. Status quo.
And the fact that it took Regina 2 weeks to be like, I'm gonna fucking fire her. Like, what was she doing?
Yeah. Grieving.
Oh, no.
Grieving her victim.
Oh, no. It's an upsetting sentence you just said.
It's not great.
No.
It's not great.
No, but I'm really trying to think, plot-wise, really it shows us, I guess, Emma being good, doing a good thing.
Okay. I mean,
Um,
it
it
gives
and
Rumple a son,
that's what I was gonna say. Yes,
who
it
we know with hindsight will become a much bigger part of the plot for a
and
while.
and this gives Rumpelstiltskin or Mr. Gold more like leeway with Emma. Like he has more control and power now. I guess
I guess, and
that's the implication by his ominous statement. Is I can basically get you to do whatever I want.
right. But then I'm trying to think of how he cashes in that favor,
He
and I don't.
doesn't.
Right. Okay. So it doesn't matter.
No.
Okay.
It's an origin story. That's the entire episode. That's all you need.
Right.
And this is how the Dark One shit works is retconned anyway in like seasons 5 or 6.
So true. I mean, it's. Oh, we only stay consistent with the aesthetic. We do not stay consistent with the rule
Heck.
that we've established.
Speaking of the Dark One, though, I feel like we just need to dwell on Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, I have
For,
stuff to say. I don't have any like particular notes because again, nothing in this episode changes the status quo. We
no.
are exactly where we started except for Emma is officially sheriff and has some goodwill in town,
Yep, that's it.
which she was kind of already building.
Yeah,
So,
no one seemed to dislike her except for Regina.
on the Storybrooke side of things, we really did not change much.
No.
And so I'm just yeah, like I didn't have anything at the end where I was like, "Oh, I have to talk about this." Except I do have one question.
Oh
But it's a
boy.
Rumpelstiltskin gold related question.
All right, let's hear it.
And that is, do you think he knew that Emma was going to call him out? Or do you think that originally he was thinking, "Oh, I'll just blackmail her from here," and then she did the thing and he's like, "Oh shit, I got to come up with something new."
So it's interesting to me because I remember the first time watching the show through, Mr. Gold, Rumpelstiltskin was fun because he did play in this ominous gray area where you don't know what strings he's pulling. So I like that take, but also the show so far has implied that Emma is an agent of change. She is mixing things up. So part of me is inclined to believe he was just like, oh fuck, all right, we'll roll with this. I'll make it work.
I'll make it work. Yeah, it's just
Like both could work really well for how they've presented these two characters so far.
right. I don't care either way, other than I'm like, well, I would like to know. I want to know. I just want to see a little bit more of like his machinations behind the scenes. And
Right? And
like, because we just don't get him, we get a lot of insinuations that he's pulling strings and we get little stuff. But for a very
we
long
don't see the
time,
proof. Show me the proof.
yeah, we don't see him doing anything particular. Even
No,
if
and
it was like just a little more of an insinuation that, like, I mean, I know he basically comes out and says it,
but
but
the way he left the debate,
yeah,
like slowly head down, like avoiding eye contact.
right, which could have been part of an act, but even if we'd just seen him outside of the debate, like, straighten up and be like, haha, that was my plan all along.
Yeah, or be sitting there and not move and have a knowing smirk or something.
Right.
Because they start with that where he kind of like it zooms in on his face, but then he gets up and walks away. So you're like, I don't know what to do with that.
Right, like, and it would again, it would be awesome if it was just like the doors closed behind him, and suddenly he just like straightens up and is like,
Bitch fell for it.
haha, yeah, like I got my way. Just because I want to know if he was anticipating that move.
And well, because I forget if it's season 1 or 2, whatever episode where it's revealed that he always knew about Emma and was writing her name in squid ink everywhere.
Right.
Like when it starts becoming very clear that he has been manipulating every single moment.
Yeah.
I wish they gave us more of the back end of that, which I understand it would ruin that reveal.
Right, but there's
something to be said about like breadcrumbs along the way where it's like you see him doing certain things, but then as you zoom out, it's he's been doing this. It's all for his son. He cares about this.
right, and it would be, I think, because I don't know. I don't remember watching this episode in particular, so I don't remember how I felt at that final reveal of him saying, like,
Yeah.
I knew
Like,
that you needed something even more than just saving somebody from a fire.
no, I didn't
So I
care about
don't.
Rumpelstiltskin until I found out he was the Beast character, and that's another episode to talk about, so that's all I'll say
Oh, you're
there.
getting red for Phil. But yeah, I don't remember that feeling. But to me, I'm like, it didn't feel to me like that moment was presented as such a reveal, so much as something we probably should have known all along.
Yeah, it
And if that were the case, then
obviously.
we should have gotten just, again, could have been a shot from the outside, just kind of him straightening up and walking away, like, not ashamed. And then we would have been like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah. Why is this his
Why
reaction?
that? That doesn't make sense. He should be ashamed of this. He was acting
Or
ashamed, and now he's not.
exactly, or if it were the reverse, him looking actually angry, like this bitch. Now I have to
Right.
come up with a new plan.
Right. And then just showing up and being like, no, I was fine with it. And we're like, oh, you weren't fine with it. We watched
We
you.
all saw you were not fine with it.
Right. Like I just needed a little more time with Rumpel, with Gold.
Robert Carlyle, please tell us, what was your motivation in this scene? What
Thank you.
notes were you given?
What was happening here? Thank y'all.
What is this?
But yeah.
So we were talking about the aesthetic of the Dark Ones, and I love that there's consistencies, but there's also some inconsistencies.
Oh, yeah.
So with Zozo at the beginning, he kills a field of, or maybe not kills, he like knocks them all down to their feet or something. But he has like a whooshy magic thing, like
He does.
It ripples, it's visible. Something we've never seen Rumpelstiltskin do. For sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, he even blinks, like, he blinks out of existence. Yeah. That's the only way I can think of it. It reminds me of the demons in Charmed.
Yes.
And how they'd move around, because he just blinks, whereas everybody else gets, like, swirls of smoke.
Yep. So my question is this like a Kingdom Hearts situation where you start and you're at the loading screen, you know you're doing the bob up and down thing as you're reading the tutorial, and it's like, choose your weapon. Are you going to go for magic, shield, or sword? And depending on what you pick as the dark one, that will be how you manifest your magic. Rumpel saw the straw into gold shit and was like, that's my calling card, sign me up.
I guess, yeah, it is weird, again.
Emma later on does neither of those things.
Well, and Emma sometimes has light magic. Emma sometimes has
hand trimmers.
Emma sometimes the dark one.
Emma does not have sparkles as the dark one, and we will yell about this later.
And she's got good teeth.
Okay, the teeth. We have to talk about teeth. So when you become the dark one,
his teeth weren't great as Rumpelstiltskin, but they were not bad.
They're rotting by the end.
Does the dark...
I mean, you become the dark one, you get some glitter, it's very exfoliating, you get some very wavy locks, you get shit teeth.
Right, you just get cavities. Automatically.
Which, gross, whatever. Like,
ew.
Belle has canonically kissed that face in the Enchanted Forest. I'm not talking about Belle to Mr. Gold. I am saying when Regina's like, true love's kiss will break a curse, this bitch runs to that man and kisses his decrepit mouth.
Do you think it tastes like rot?
Take those words away, please.
Okay.
I'm so upset.
Rot taste. Rot like taste. I'm trying to go backwards. It's not working.
Nope.
Too much brain power.
Too many.
Yeah, I just...
horrible.
This was almost frustrating because, again, it was one of those episodes where I was like, there's threads of things that they did super well. I liked the amount of arson in the episode.
You and Henry both.
No, but I mean, I liked that he set something on fire twice. Like, I liked the parallel.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that, both were for an ambition that he's got. I liked their character setting up. I know we're going to retcon like so much of it. but I liked all of that. I liked the way that it's kind of revealed. I liked all the beggar stuff. I liked
Sure.
you made a deal you didn't understand, and now he's making people make deals they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really appreciate all of that character building. But also, it's really frustrating because I'm like, so much of this will never matter.
No.
None of the Storybrooke stuff changed anything.
No.
Emma remains sheriff. I,
I
but she still owes gold.
True.
Like,
I
she
will
didn't
say
even get out of debt.
No, the only thing I can think of is it's planting the seeds of, oh, he's a coward. He evaded war. What's his deal? What's his story?
Right, we
Where
want to
is
go
the
back
wife?
even farther.
Like, it does plant the seeds of curiosity of, no, wait, how did we get to this point of desperation?
Right, and I don't mind that. Like, all of the Enchanted Forest stuff, I'm, like,
It's
on
the
board
storybook
for.
piece of it
It's the
all.
Storybrooke. I'm like, why
Did
does
this
the
plot
Storybrooke
happen?
part matter? And the problem is, the Storybrooke part is the part we are really supposed to be invested in to keep us coming back, because that's the
Oh,
current story. Like, I know we all ended up tuning in just because, like, the
Regina?
backstories were fun.
Oh,
Oh,
that too.
yeah, that's fair. But, like, yeah, like, I remember specifically every week trying to, like, pick out people in the crowd, pick
Oh,
out
check
people
out
and
their
trying to figure it
character.
out, and, like, who and how they do the backstory. So I know that eventually ends up the draw.
I
But
remember the exact moment that the fan theory started circulating of, hold the fucking phone, I think Neil's Balefire. I remember the delight in the fandom as we tried to piece that together and make claims. I think it was the mid-season finale or end of season 1 where there's the mysterious letter from August.
yes, I think at the very end of this season we get a is
Teaser.
isn't that like where the letter
Yeah,
arrives
exactly.
from the
And they
outside or something
precisely, and the letter says, like, I know you're Balefire. We
or
find out
something?
later. But I remember we were all screen cap wasn't even a thing then, but like we were all watching it and like pausing on our DVR or
Y'all were
whatever.
taking pictures.
Yeah, we were. It's
You
true.
were taking pictures.
I remember looking at pictures of the frame of where the letters dropped off to be like, oh fuck, whose room could this be?
Right.
And it was delightful. Like that kind of shit I lived for in this
That
show.
part was so much fun. Like, and I understand that's why we got hooked. That's why we still
Uh,
watch it, because just like the fan
there are
culture
some
around
clever
it was
things.
so fun. But then I'm like rewatching with an eye on, okay, I know where they're going now.
How did they not know where they were going? They are
Yeah.
writers.
Yeah, and I totally again, I totally understand that you don't make a show expecting to get 7 seasons.
No.
So there's parts that I am totally willing to overlook and just be like, it's part of just being a long running show. Things get retconned, things get changed as you need them to. But
Mhm.
at the same time, there is some stuff where I'm like, okay, but you are changing the rules that you very clearly established
Yes.
for a whole season. And then are like,
Correct.
right, we would just want to change it. If it's little stuff, I don't mind if it gets completely changed.
Sure.
But when you say this is the final bean, and it's 7 times the final bean, I have a problem with that. Because find another reason. Find another way to open the goddamn
Yep.
portal. Like, just
Tell
any
us
other reason.
something. I'm sure the Blue Fairy has a fucking way to open a portal. That bitch has too much power that no one is checking.
She's the true villain of this show.
You just get angry about her as the show goes on.
She is. We're gonna get to season 2, and I'm just gonna be like, this is why she's a villain.
Okay,
This
to
is
be
why.
fair, one of the points we do this every time where I look at her giving giving Mary Margaret the candle, and I recognize it's not actually her, but I don't
I
care.
know.
The fact that
I don't
is it
care.
Rumpelstiltskin pretending? No, it's no, not Cora. Cora dies. Is it no? Rumpel's dying. I forget who it is pretending to be her and saying, "Use the candle."
Oh.
But at any rate, whoever it was knew that the blue fairy was shady enough that she would give that advice.
Right. No, I'm sorry. The bitch shows up and is like, one person can go in the wardrobe.
Just one. Actually, two. Just one. The worst.
It's upsetting to me.
She's infuriating.
She is infuriating because, but and I know she doesn't come around a lot because she's so overpowered that
they realize
story breaking.
Too much power.
They do that a lot. That's what they did with Cruella as well. They were like, we've created someone who we can't stop.
The earlier seasons are fun for different reasons. I can't wait till we get to like circa season 4 because Lo and I are watching on the side because we hate ourselves.
And because we watch too much.
Correct. And we're in the Frozen arc, which means Regina once again has no happiness. And the visceral anger that Lo has every time Robin steps on screen gives me life. Like, I'm younger for it. I would be 38. I'm only 30 because of your anger fueling me and giving me life.
Angry about Robin, to be clear. I love Robin. Robin is perfect.
And that's why you're angry.
I'm so mad. I am so mad at this show for that reason. I could never forgive them.
That's
ever.
Fair.
The number of permadeaths on this show
linked
and
to
the ratio of permadeaths that come directly from sleeping with Regina. Like, directly from having feelings for Regina. Don't have feelings for Regina on this show, you will die permanently.
It's true.
No one else will. Everyone else will get to come back, but you will die permanently so that we can wound her a little more.
Yep. Oh, it's gonna get so bad. I'm looking at my notes. I don't have anything else for this one.
There's so little just because of, I think, how little changes.
Yep. Oh, I thought of one thing that makes us angry every time. So, Disney Plus has the little images for each episode. Someone done fucked up for this one. It's from Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. It is a possessed white rabbit.
Why is that damn white rabbit here? And why haven't they got it and fixed it?
I don't know. I will post it. I know I make a lot of empty claims of shit I'm going to post and then I have no memory and I don't do it. I will post this because it bothers me every time. Because every time I'm waiting for that rabbit to show up.
Why? Like, just that nobody's caught it. Nobody's
or no
caught
one
it
cares. That's the crazy thing.
No, nobody cares. Nobody's like, oh, no, that's wrong.
I'm sure if someone put in a comment, it's more, oh shit, people are watching this? What?
Great. Love those streams.
But
yeah, no. That just shows you
the
level of quality we're dealing with here.
Well, should we go through our list? Mine's short. Mine, nothing happens.
Both are so short.
True. No magic beans yet. Hang tight. I promise this list will become important, like, starting season 2. And it makes me angry.
And infuriating.
But until then, it really is a useless list. I understand that. Curses, we still just have the one. Lies. No one directly lies to Emma in this one. I guess the closest you could say is Rumpel is like, I'll help you. But even then, he's true to that. He does help her. She becomes sheriff.
Right.
So
he's not lying.
And even then, when she confronts him, he's like, if I did do it, he doesn't lie.
He doesn't lie. No, he goes full OJ on it. If I did do it.
Yep.
This is how I would have done it.
And why?
Exactly.
How's the old family tree doing?
The family tree, we have an addition. Yay. Rumpel has a son named Bay.
Good.
That's all we know at this moment. We all know that will become important information.
This is important.
Down the line.
I think this is important, and you're going to want to write it down.
I feel you should write it down.
And
then nothing new on the fuck fern. Like,
what's the point?
Nothing. Again, this will get so messy. We have
we'll post
a rough
soon.
draft. Yeah, I'm gonna work on a true family tree this weekend. I have my very messy rough draft of, like, in a notebook on binder paper, but
Well,
we'll get an official version going.
Well, and I don't want to post it too often because it's more fun to see
the exponential growth.
Correct. So we will post photos every so often just to show you the monstrosity.
But as we move further along, I think there's definitely a case for posting it more often. It's just
right now it's not too scary.
It's
most
almost entirely a family tree.
Exactly. Like
normal
we haven't even really gotten into like the weird shit of Henry being his own grandfather. Yeah, that.
Or step uncle.
Something like that. Like we haven't gone into the weird shit yet.
Yeah, that's the only part on here that's like particularly weird is that Emma's adopted grandmother is her son's adopted mom.
Oh, that's the worst.
So when you're tracing that adoption lineage, that part gets a little messy because he's his own like step granduncle or something.
It's something completely asinine.
It's a little weird. It's a little. Oh, step great.
It's something. You and I figured it out once, and we promptly said, "Oh no."
Oh, he's adopted by Regina. Regina is his grandmother's stepmother. So Snow and Henry are
no
adopted step siblings, essentially.
I need you to stop.
Oh, it's not going to though. It's only going to get worse.
Why did you decide to do this? Oh God, this has been such a
fun.
It's been such a bad time.
It's been such a bad time. It's been such a bad time, but I have good news.
Oh, tell me.
It can only go up from here.
Praise be. Praise be.
We release this podcast on Sundays because your week can only go up from here. Hooray.
Yes. Well, thank you all for listening to whatever the hell this has been.
It's been such a fun time. We will see you again next week for Wine, and Once, a Once Upon a Time podcast.
Yes, we will. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.